Theme song. 3, 2. And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in, everybody, to a very special episode. It's a regular number, and we're going to get right into it. This is an interview with Jim Tews, the comedian who just put out a new record with Blonde Medicine called Without Pictures. It came out recently. You can listen to it wherever you get your audio comedy things. Jim is a very, very funny guy. This conversation will put that to it. This is his third full-length album. And his first one was called With Pictures. This one is Without Pictures. So it's, with pictures, you watch it without pictures. Anyway, it has pictures and everything. There's an element to it. I'm telling you, just check it out. Jim is a good guy, as I said before. Admittedly, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and quite frankly, I forgot everything. But he's funny, and I enjoyed him. And when he was offered up to me on a pedestal, as all the comedians I talk to are, or entertainers, excuse me, I said yes because I knew who he was, and I wanted to talk to. I like to talk to people I know, and and also his clips are just funny. He's a funny guy. He used to be an animator. He's an artist as well, and he's got a lot of skills in drawing. So you can understand why I believe he also may moonlight in art and animation. Let me triple check that because I don't know if that's exactly true, but I do believe that his IMDb page did have some, or maybe his website. You can see on his website he's got a lot of animation stuff. And you've probably seen him do some animation stuff before, but I've seen him. I know him from comedy. Anyway, this new record is called Without Pictures. You can find it wherever you get your albums, your specials. This Pennsylvania comedian, he's a good guy, very measured. And you've seen him before, probably on Last Comic Standing. If you watched that when it was on, he had something on CISO, R.I.P. to CISO. And he's also, I didn't know this, he's the author of the New York Times bestseller Felines of New York, a humorous photo book parodying humans of New York. Cool. Interesting. Oh, he even created a music video for the band Weezer through animation. Interesting. That's great. That's wonderful. He tours. Go see him. He's a funny guy. I really enjoyed this conversation. Follow Jim Tews over there on Instagram at Jim Tews, Tews. He also has an OnlyFans for his comedy. Go to JimTews. It's Jim Tews. OnlyFans.com/Jim Tews. Also go to JimTews.com to check that stuff out. Check out the album. Again, it's called Without Pictures. If you want to see a video version of this conversation, go to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see a video version of this episode of the podcast, as well as every other episode of the podcast, as well as every episode of Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast. You can find both of those on youtube.com/C+comedy. If you want to see me talk to other famous people, watch the interviews on youtube.com/C+comedy. Subscribe to the podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, whatever app you use. All right, I'll see you after the jump with this. Now, enjoy the comedian, the animator, the author, Jim Tews. And we're back. Okay, hopefully I gave myself enough leeway to do that. I'm missing Wimbledon right now. I want to tell you that. But I have a phone call to talk about my contract. It's probably ending. What's been going on? I took a couple weeks off. I'll tell you this. Several weeks ago, I broke my this is I'm not kidding. This has happened once a year for the past 3 or so years. I've lost count. I broke my screen, my S23 Ultra. I broke the screen. And if you don't know the Samsung series, up until the S24 series, they have curved screens because it makes them look cool and it differentiates themselves. They've had curved screens for a long time now, a couple of series. Anyway, I've broken the curved screen on every single one that I've had since the S21 Ultra. Now you think, a curved screen, it's going to cost the same to repair. No, it does not. Compared to a flat screen on a phone, it costs more. Last year, or for the past couple of years, again, I've had insurance on my phone. This is the first year I did not, just to save a little bit of money. And people will tell you all the time, oh, phone insurance is a scam. Don't do it. Blah blah blah. Then why do credit cards come with it? Anyway, I cracked the screen. I can't afford to spend $400 to repair it outright. And I thought, okay, well, when I get paid, I'll pay for insurance and then I'll wait a month because it was just a crack. Fine, I can look past crack. I'm cooking and I have a MagSafe case on my phone, so it's and there's a electricity panel, I guess the whatever the panels things are called, and I in the kitchen, and right under that I have a preparation table. I can't open my fridge all the way, but I bought a preparation table so that I could just chop things and not have to deal with the limited counter space you see behind me if you're watching the video. And for months I've had this table. I've been putting my phone on this metal thing. Blah blah blah. The one time I misgrab the phone, it slides off, bounces off the table, lands flat on the ground. And I go, well, it's already broken. I lift it up and. Then at that point, there was across the top third of the screen, just a line going through the video. And I was like, damn, like the screen's even more broken. But it's still usable. Tuesday, I'm setting up my leg day. I'm at my favorite rack in the gym. And I'm going to do, at some point, I'm going to tell you this about me in the gym. I like to prepare. So if I'm going to be in one place, like on leg day, I use the same rack for about an hour and change. I know it sounds stupid, but it's what works for me. So I got everything I wanted over there. I needed a box, so I got a high box, a couple of kettlebells, and some other odds and ends. This has never happened. This has never ever happened. I put the box. There's a pillar on a wall, and the pillar like juts out just a little bit. And then like, so here's the pillar. The microphone's the pillar, and then here's the rack, and it's probably just like a foot or 2 feet from this pillar, and then here's a mirror, which I never look into because it's gross. Looking at mirrors is stupid. But it helps my form. No, you don't need a mirror. And then for some reason that day I put down my book bag in front of the pillar, and then I put usually if I get a box, I will put the box against the pillar and then put everything I need right on top of the box before while I set things up. To that day, Tuesday, put the book bag down in front of the pillar, and then I put the box in front of my book bag. I put my phone on top of the box. Again, it's a higher box because I'm going to do some jumping thingy, some step up jump thing, and then I look at this bar and I go, this bar is not. I'm going to do power cleans. This bar is not what I need. I pull the bar off, and I'm trying to wiggle it out, and I feel it through the bar. Don't ask me how. I just feel it through the bar, and I hear it even though I'm listening to music and there's music playing in the speakers. And I go, shit. I put the bar back, and I look at my phone. Not the same crack. It's the other side of the screen. Was just hit the tip of the bar, other side of the screen, and now the entire screen is dead. And I go, fuck. I do end up changing the barbell, and I look at my phone for what feels like minutes, but I look at my phone for 10 seconds, and I go, I live 5 minutes away with no traffic because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I live 5 minutes away. I can go grab the iPad. Because they have the same workout app on there that I use, and it's mixed up over the cloud. And I just didn't know. I forgot what I was doing at that point. Everything just left my head. So I sprint home in the car, run inside, grab the iPad, get back to the gym. By that time, it's like 5:15, 5:20, and I just do my workout with my iPad. The app I use, it's not good. It's not even worth promoting. And it's the guy that developed it had just like stopped developing it for a very long time. And then based on the Reddit posts that I have been reading for the past couple of months, because he updated it within the past like month and a half on both Android and iOS, he's like, I've been developing it for years, and I've been doing stuff in beta, and now it's finally time to release everything. And I'm just, anyway, the Android app runs smoothly to an extent. The iOS app on iPad is horrendous. It takes forever to I had to, and I know because I had to use it for the past 2 days to plan my workouts, because everything's in there, all my exercise room. I just had to plan things, and then to even put in new stuff. Oh my god, it took. If I'm on the couch and I have my phone, it'll take me, if I know what I want to do, it'll take me roughly 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm watching something to plan, or listening to a podcast to plan the exercises. On the iPad, it would be twice that time. It's just so much work. Anyway, thankfully I had the iPad, and also the iPad has Verizon. If the iPad is through Verizon, my phone is through Google Fi. Anyway, I had to. So it cost $400 to repair the screen. I can't afford it, but if I got an S25 Ultra, that'd be a flat screen, because they don't do curved screens anymore, and it basically looks like an iPhone. So I had to get a new phone. It's a brand new phone. They didn't have a white version. I wanted a white version. This is like gray, but on the website on Google Fi, it said it's gray, or black, but it's blue. Anyway, they don't have a 1 terabyte. I wanted 1 terabyte. I got 512 gigabytes. I just sent out the other phone. Hopefully they take off, since the screen is cracked, $125, as they said. But there's a case coming today, and since it's a flat screen, I can get a tempered glass screen protector again, like I have on my iPad Pro. That's great. So everybody who's ever made fun of me because, why do you have an iPad? Why does the iPad have cellular? That's I'm not kidding. It's every single year that happens. And I hope, knock on wood, it doesn't happen next year. It's good to have an iPad. It truly, like this iPad saved me, because especially with cellular. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I price out other iPads, like the new iPad Pro, and again, I want 1 terabyte, and I want it to be cellular. It's $2,000. at that point, buy a MacBook. Anyway, hopefully the new iPad OS makes things a little bit better. What else has been going on? Oh, I saw a couple of movies. Let me pop open the AMC app. I unfortunately have not been going to Landmark Theater because, actually, you know what? Because it was my birthday like 2 weeks ago, but a lot of the reasons why I've been able to go to AMC is because I've had rewards. So the movies have been super cheap, like $2 at points, or they gave me free popcorn and drink, which is great. When's the last time I put out an episode? I saw Elio. I don't know if I talked about that. I saw 28 Years Later. I saw F1 the movie, which I'm not kidding. This is going to sound insane. I biked to F1 the movie. I on my watch. I don't know if I am wearing the Garmin. On the Garmin, my heart rate spiked so much, so high. So I noticed. So I went to the Garmin after the movie ended, and I went to the app and I saw my heart rate between in the movie times, and it was higher than what it was at the gym that morning, which is crazy. I worked out for 3.5 hours that morning, and then I biked to see this movie, and I biked back home, and my heart rate was not higher than when I was watching that movie. Insane. I loved it. I loved F1. I want to see it again. Ugh. The entire time I thought Brad Pitt was going to die. I was like, please don't kill this man. That's not a spoiler. And then this week I saw Jurassic World Rebirth. You know what sucks about seeing a movie during the week? I love it during the week, during the day. So do other people, especially during the summer, which sucks. Sometimes, most of the time, it's just me in there with 2-3 other people. For Jurassic World Rebirth, for F1, for 28 years later, for Elio, because it's the summertime, people are in there talking on their phones, react. Just look. I've said it before, I say it again. I need this to be like white Catholic church. Everybody needs to be quiet. What else has been going on? I just started a new game, Metaphor ReFantasmo. It's on Game Pass. I also started RoboCop. I've been wanting to play RoboCop for so long. The new RoboCop first-person shooter, and I'm excited. So I started that on PlayStation. It's on PlayStation Plus, so I started that. And for Nintendo Switch, since I'm naming everything, let's see. I downloaded I have the DLC rather for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I've been trying to level up Kubfu. I did level up Kubfu, and I think I just beat the tower. I think that was last week though. I beat the tower. I think I chose the water one too. I don't know if it was water or dark, but I will continue on with that as well. So there you go. All right, let's move on to this first story. This comes from CNET, written by Courtney Jackson. This is old. Netflix is bringing NASA's live content to your screens. We heard a couple of weeks ago about how Netflix is partnering with TF1, I believe, in France. Let me triple check that. TF1. Yep, TF1 in France. And they're going to be broadcasting, essentially, France's biggest broadcaster. They're NBC, they're CBS, they're ABC. They're going to be broadcasting that on Netflix in France. And that's a giant move. Now, Netflix is also bringing NASA's live streaming to Netflix. This summer, the agency will launch live programming from its NASA Plus app on Netflix, so you can watch a variety of content such as astronaut spacewalks, rocket launches, video beams of Earth from the International Space Station, and much more. The aim is to pique audience interest in space exploration and the work that NASA does around the globe and beyond Earth by offering content to Netflix's worldwide subscriber base. Though there's not a firm date for when you'll see NASA's feeds, upcoming live coverage in July includes the launch and docking of Progress 92 cargo craft. This is a big move. Again, it's the same thing for, when Netflix said it was going to start doing live sports, I didn't think it was going to be as often. And then when when they purchased the rights for WWE, I went, whoa, that's a big move. In the same way that they want to do live stand-up specials with Joe Rogan and Chris Rock, that's a big move. They are angling themselves to not just be a streaming provider, but also be the place to catch live curation of things. Right now, they can't put too much live stuff on there because the infrastructure wasn't there, especially for the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. The infrastructure wasn't there. And now it seems that when you have something like Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, because it's not as taxing, it's there. And when you have something like WWE, it's not a big event. So that's something that's still reliable, but you can see that, they're just, for working out, they're putting in the reps when it comes to the live event space. There's a reason why, they can charge $28 per, or 20, I don't know, however much the 4K version cost is. Unfortunately, I'm on ad free right now and it sucks. Whatever, you do what you got to do. Excuse me, I'm on ad supported. But there's a reason why they can charge nearly $30, and at some point, and in less than, I would say in a year it'll be $30. How much is it? 28? I would say in 2 years it'll be $30. But there's a reason why this stuff happens, and they are positioning themselves to be the one-stop shop for everything you watch. When they have a concert, it'll be fascinating. When they have a live concert, it'll be fascinating, because I do believe Amazon Prime Video does a live concert series at some point later in the year, and I know 2 Chainz and other people have done live concert specials on Prime Video. Hold on, let me triple check, because I'm almost positive it's been like 2 Chainz. Is it 2 Chainz? 2 Chainz. I typed in 2 Chainz. He's got most expensivest. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Concert. Hold on. Let's see. Prime Video concert. I don't know how to spell concerts. Yeah, concerts and live music. Yes. Yeah. All right, so they've done the Fire Aid benefit concert. They've done Amazon Music Live. That's what I'm looking at. Oh, my God. Jelly Roll, Big Sean, Halsey, J Balvin, Gunna, Twice, and Snoop Dogg. Okay, I said 2 Chainz. It's 2 different things. But they've done live concerts before. And they've city sessions. They've done things. And Casey Musgraves has put her stuff on there. Cool. I love Casey Musgraves. Oh, I'm going to marry her in a second. She was like, Chad, move to Nashville. I'd be like, yes, Casey. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll move there. Just pack up the dog and the consoles and let's get out of here. NASA Plus, of course, is an ad-free subscription-free streaming app that features live feeds, mission overviews, documentaries, and other programming. They also have a fast channel on Prime Video. Again, Netflix is, it's astounding to me how they are just running away with the leadership in terms of streaming and everything, whether I agree with them or not, whether I think that what they put out is good or not. When anybody thinks this is good or not, it's because they're getting the views and they're comfortably out front, and no one will ever catch them. I've been wrong about a lot of things before, but the company that catch them would be Disney and Warner if they stopped fucking around. But at this point, that's not happening. Speaking of Amazon shutting down Freevee. This comes from CNBC's, written by Annie Palmer. Amazon has shut down Freevee streaming TV service in August. This made no sense. At some point, when Prime Video Prime Video also had some free stuff at one point, and then they had Freevee, the app. And then at some point, they folded in Freevee into Prime Video so that you could just get, Freevee stuff, plus Amazon Prime stuff, plus Prime Video stuff, plus free stuff that they had on Prime Video, plus the stuff that you own. And then I don't know at what juncture this happened, but they just dropped the Freevee name, or else you wouldn't hear it. And now you're just watching free stuff plus Prime Video stuff. and the stuff that you own on Prime Video. It never made sense for when Prime Video offered free movies and shows on top of, even with throwing the Freevee app in there, the Freevee stuff, the content, I guess, inside of the Prime Video app. It never made sense for them to continue to do this, but yes, Amazon sunsetting Freevee. It's going to end. That happened. Yeah. So when they did Prime Video with ads in January 2024, that's when the consolidation of Freevee happened into the Prime Video app. Remember, it started out as IMDb TV, and also they canceled a lot of Freevee show. Well, a lot. They canceled the Freevee shows. What shows were on Freevee? Let me go to Wikipedia. Freevee shows. The original programming. I know there was a Bosch show. There's Bosch Legacy, which lasted for 2 seasons and 20 episodes, and I believe that just moved to Prime Video. And then they also have that sequel, which starring Maggie Q. And then they moved 1 season over to Prime Video. But there's a sequel with Maggie Q called like Ballard or something. Ballard. Excuse me. I saw Maggie Q looking so beautiful on the when that show launched a couple of days ago on Prime Video, and I was like, "What is this? I have to watch this show." And then it said from the world of Bosch, and I went, "I don't." My stepdad loves Bosch. I'm sure Bosch is a great show, but this will be the second spinoff to the show. It's like me starting Elsbeth. When I'm like, I've watched like 7 episodes of The Good Wife. I've never seen The Good Fight. Why would I watch Elsbeth? They also had Alex Rider, which lasted for 3 seasons. Then they also had Leverage Redemption, which I believe was just recently. No, it moved over to Prime Video. And Leverage Redemption is the sequel series to Leverage. Again, another show I've never seen. They also had a High School and then a show called Classified. On top of that, they had Sprung, Jury Duty, which is Sprung is over. And that's from the guy, what's his name? Greg Garcia? Yes, that is the guy who did Raising Hope and My Name is Earl. They also had Jury Duty, which is going to continue. Primo, Dinner with the Parents, and the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh, as well as You're Not a Monster. And wow, they had a lot of original shows. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am willing to give you guys a show. It never made sense for this to continue, but now Prime Video is its own thing. You can subscribe to it for $9 a month or $11 a month if you don't want ads, and you can also get it with your Prime membership. It's again, Freevee just never should have existed. Oh well, I mean, excuse me, shouldn't have existed past when it was folded into Prime Video. But I guess my only guess for this for the reason why it was still continuing is probably because they thought they could get 2 separate ads, sell more ads on 2 separate services, and it would make them more money. Like, you know, if they had Prime Video with ads and the free stuff with ads, and then also Freevee, they could go to distributors and say, or, you know, advertisers and say, hey, Nike, buy ads on both. Or, hey, Nike, you buy more ads on Prime Video, it'll cost you more, but Freevee, you know, something along those lines. I don't know. That's just me guesstimating. And finally, this comes from Alex Weprin at The Hollywood Reporter. Inside CBS News, staffers voiced disgust, anger, relief, and anxiety over Trump's settlement. If you don't recall, right before we celebrated this great nation, CBS, Paramount, they settled the lawsuit that was brought against them by Donald Trump, $16 million for the 60 Minutes lawsuit, where they said that, Trump's people said that 60 Minutes edited an interview with Kamala Harris and made her seem like she said the right thing or didn't say something else. I don't know. If you check out the video, first of all, if you work in the news, you know you can't edit a conversation to make it sound like somebody said something and not be caught. This interview is the opposite of that. What they did was they cut out a rambling answer, and they took the thesis of the answer, and they just cut out the fat, because you only have a certain amount of time for a segment. And if somebody's going, and the blah, 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 and then they're saying, ba-boom, 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 you want to get to that ba-boom, 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 because the blah, 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 blah means nothing. This happens in every interview ever. Every single interview you've ever seen. Every single interview you've seen on television, you've seen on Jimmy Kimmel Live, you've seen on The Talk, you've seen on the Today Show, has been, well, Today Show's live. I shouldn't have said that. But all that has been edited. All right. Unless somebody says something just woefully disturbing or stupid, then it's been edited. And now $16 million, the reason they paid this is because Paramount's trying to merge with Skydance, or trying to be bought out by Skydance, and they need the Federal Trade Commission which is now Trump owned, to say that it's okay. But you can't do that if you have if a lawsuit is against you from the president. The reason why people are mad, and if you don't see it, then you're stupid. The reason why people are mad is because this is basically giving him an out. They're basically saying, all right, you're right. Here's the money. And they're giving an ability for everybody else on this planet to do the same thing. And they're basically saying Trump is right. And it's not fair. It's not fair to the employees. It's not fair to everybody else who enjoys Paramount stuff, who enjoys 60 Minutes. They lost the head boss at 60 Minutes because that guy left. They lost other people. So why would you do this? Why would you do this? People are saying this is not good. I'm saying it's not good to bow down like this. Paramount co-CEO George Cheeks emphasized at the company's shareholder meeting that, quote, yes, the company has agreed on principle to settle the lawsuit, and as reported, it does not include an apology. Oh, big whoop. Oh, my gosh. According to the Writers Guild of America, and they're right, the settlement threatens journalists' abilities to do their job reporting on powerful public figures. Imagine if, because Stephanopoulos and ABC had to settle. I'm sure Stephanopoulos didn't want to, but ABC settled. Imagine if this happened again with the president or the Secretary of State or Homeland Security, because journalists were doing their job. The reason for settling, Cheeks says, is, look, companies often settle litigation to avoid the high and somewhat unpredictable cost of legal defense, the risk of an adverse judgment that could result in significant financial as well as reputational damage, and a disruption to business operations that prolonged legal battles can cause. A settlement offers a negotiated resolution that allows companies to focus on their core objectives rather than being mired in uncertainty and distraction, which means, let's go back to that disruption to business operations. If they were in a legal battle, they couldn't merge or they couldn't get bought out by Skydance. I'll just say merge. They couldn't merge with Skydance, or Skydance couldn't buy them out. They want to focus on their core objectives. Their core objective, as Paramount, as George Cheeks puts it, as Chris McCarthy and the rest of everybody in charge at Paramount, Sherry Redstone, they just want to be bought out. And that's it, because they have no operational money to continue going for a very long time. They still don't have anybody in charge of 60 Minutes. Bill Owens is gone. He resigned in April. Shortly after he resigned, correspondents sent a letter to Cheeks requesting that Tanya Simon, a longtime producer on the show and daughter of late correspondent Bob Simon, be named a permanent EP. CBS has declined to name a permanent successor, and staff on the show are hoping that with the suit resolved, Simon gets the nod, and if not, to understand why. Wendy McMahon, who had been leading CBS News and Stations, also resigned, telling staff that, quote, it's become clear that the company and I do not agree on the path forward. We don't need a settlement. We don't need an apology. They just moved CBS News to an entirely new studio. Well, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand why these things have to happen like this. In addition to Paramount, as I said, Trump has settled lawsuits with the Walt Disney Company, which is about ABC News and George Stephanopoulos, tech giant Meta over suspensions on Instagram and Facebook after January 6th, and X, the platform owned by Elon Musk, over a suspension. He secured about $60 million earmarked for the museum after legal fees. That's crazy. What are we even doing at this point? All right. Listen. If you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people. Sometimes you can watch a video version of this show on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can watch a video version of the other podcasts, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast. You can also watch me talk to famous people under the interviews. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media. TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky at @CPlusComedy, me at Chad Black White. Check out Jim Tews. He's a fun guy. Check out all the other interviews I've done. Thank you so much for listening. I think we'll see you next time. All right. This is the end. And we're out. Bye.